CBS News Miami.
And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories, and we begin with that smoky haze that everyone has been talking about across Broward County. It turns out the high winds have been pulling smoke from some prescribed burns in Palm Beach County. Chopper 4 shows the haze earlier this afternoon in western Broward. Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue issued a smoke advisory. Next, Weather Chief Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera has more.
And the skies have cleared out in Broward County. We're looking good. In fact, conditions much better as the smoke has kind of drifted up to the north, up towards Palm Beach. And so that may have to do with the intensity of the current burning in the sugar canes there. But we're talking about conditions here in Broward and in Miami-Dade. Just spectacular with temperatures in the 70s right now. We had a cool start this morning, much colder tonight. In fact, tonight's going to be one of the coldest nights of the winter season, which technically still is with us until the 21st. There is the RH, relative humidity. So we combine that with wind gusts, and that's how you can get a fire weather watch for the following day. We know what conditions are going to be, and that's where they are right now, along with the drought that we have with dry brush out there. Not a good setup here, but nothing under control or nothing out of control right now as far as any additional fires that are not prescribed. So winds are going to continue a little gusty through the afternoon. That fire weather watch expires at 7 o'clock. Just because the humidity goes up after sunset, you typically start getting cooler temperatures, and as a result, it's kind of the inverse here. So we get relative humidity coming back up, and through the overnight we'll be fine. I don't think we repeat tomorrow, but tomorrow the story is going to be the cold and then the warmth. It is just all over the place. We start with temperatures in the 40s and 50s tomorrow, and we end up with potentially record highs on Sunday. The record at the airport is 88. And I'm forecasting 87, so we're going to be close to that. It is the time of year we can do that, and it all has to do with the wind direction. North wind brings us the cold if it's up there, and then the south wind, you can imagine a lot of warm air to our south. There's that 54 tomorrow, well below average for this time of year, and then a nice little climb to average through the weekend. We'll go above it. A secondary front comes in, not as cold as this one, but that one I think has a better promise for some showers. The last one kind of fizzled out as far as the rainfall associated with it. So there are the temperatures. We're going to climb and get up to 87 and then average out. We get back to more seasonal temperatures as we head into early next week. How is your neighborhood going to wake up? And you're going to have to bundle up. This is cold stuff, particularly for March. This is well below average for this time of year. Upper 40s, Coral Springs, Weston, the usual colder spots, I think have a better shot of seeing temperatures below 50 degrees. And then as you get a little bit closer to the coast, even there, just a few degrees, you might not be able to tell the difference between 50 and 52, but that's kind of the range that we're looking at with those upper 40s in Kendall, Country Walk, Redland. The closer you are away from the coast and closer to the Everglades, that's where you're going to have the coldest potential temperature for tonight. Overnight lows there in Homestead at 50 degrees, and the Keys surrounded by the warmer water. That's the only reason we don't cool off there, regardless of the wind direction. It just warms up the air right around the Keys there. So 70s for you guys, and then upper 70s. So despite the chilly start, we are going to recover in the afternoon back to average temperatures. So that is a huge range coming up in the 40s and 50s all the way up to near 80-degree weather. And your 7-day forecast will take us into that record territory as we spring forward Saturday night. It's going to be a long, hot, kind of summery day on Sunday. The difference will be we're not going to have as much humidity. It'll be a little bit up there, but it won't give us those heat indices in the 100s that we get in the summer. 82, best shot of some rainfall, and I've added some thunderstorm potential here as well as that front comes in, that second one, and that one will take our temperatures back down temporarily to more average numbers by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Something for everyone over the next 7 days. Ivan, thank you. Thousands of pounds of cocaine will never hit the streets of South Florida. Illegal drugs were intercepted from smugglers with the help of several agencies. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner was with the Coast Guard when they offloaded the huge stash.
When they zigged, and he zigged, and they zagged, and we zagged.
Coast Guard third-class machinery technician Colton Howell describes a mission where they took down smugglers in the Caribbean Sea.
Once we got on scene, we were able to use our lights on our small boat and light them up, and we asked them to stop, and they wouldn't comply, so we had to go into steps and ended up disabling their vessel.
This interdiction and 5 others, with the help of the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and other international agencies, produce over 12,000 pounds worth of drugs.
For me personally, it's the largest amount I've seen on our patrols.
What you're looking at right now is over 12,000 pounds worth of cocaine. How much is that? That's over $141 million.
It's not getting into America. It's not going to be, affecting the American people or anyone in America. Keep it off the streets here.
He said there's no telling if the cocaine was laced with other drugs like fentanyl. The packages were offloaded and will be handed over to the DA. 17 smugglers were detained.
With all the training that we do and the help of our boat driver and all of our training paid off.
That was Morgan Reiner reporting. She says at least one of the smuggling operations originated in Puerto Rico. Canada and the Netherlands also helped in the sting operation. And now to Southwest Miami-Dade, where a car plunged into a canal. Crews acted fast to save a driver and passengers. This is at the Turnpike extension at Southwest 8th Street in Southwest Miami-Dade. It is unclear what caused the car to go off the road, but we're told everyone inside was pulled to safety. A Miami man is remaining in jail. He is accused of stabbing his landlord in the eye. Investigators say Yusef Mega had stabbed a man who was renting space in the building where he is also a tenant. He was granted bond in court this morning on the case, but is being held on another case. Miami police say he's also a suspect in several real estate fraud cases. 16 years ago, he was acquitted on federal terror charges. Police in Florida City are searching for a gunman in last night's shooting of a teenager. This is at the 1500 block of Northwest 5th Avenue. People who live nearby say they heard multiple gunshots. The 15-year-old victim was alert as crews rushed him to the hospital. He is expected to recover. If you know anything that could lead to an arrest, call police. Thousands of music fans are counting down to the start of Ultra Music Festival, but residents in downtown Miami are dreading the noise it creates. The Downtown Neighbors Alliance held a community town hall with Ultra managers and the City of Miami Police Department. They voiced their concerns ahead of the festival. Most say the noise disturbs their way of life.
I've been living in downtown Miami for more than 10 years. I've suffered the festival every single year. This meeting is a frustration because every time we have a complaint, they say, yeah, we'll try. We already have a contract. We can do whatever we want.
The festival runs from March 28th to the 30th. 350 officers will be on site to keep the peace and help with traffic delays near Bayfront Park. We have some breaking news just in now from Fort Lauderdale. You are looking live at a small plane that just made an emergency landing at Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. It appears the pilot had issues with landing gear. You can see it leaning over to the side and some damage to the wing. We are told there are no injuries. There is a small fuel leak. The Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport will be closed for a few hours. Stay with us for the very latest. When we come back, what was found in a Hollywood time capsule now opened up. Stay with us. History on display. Crews have unearthed a time capsule from a wall of Hollywood City Hall. It is more than 50 years old. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten is in Hollywood and gives us a peek inside.
Excavating at Hollywood City Hall, looking for a buried treasure of sorts. It's a time capsule. Buried in 1968, as Hollywood celebrates its 100th birthday, lots of eager eyes waiting to see what's inside.
Before you're seeing the time capsule content, we just unearthed it on Friday of last week.
The headline of the day from October 1968 in the Hollywood Sun-Tatler, the Queen Elizabeth cruise ship may arrive early. Also inside,
we have an operating budget book that, if you go through, the numbers are pretty funny.
Things were a lot cheaper in 1968.
One notable item is the capital budget was about $100,000 and change, which would be, any given day of the month. We have expenditures that are a bit more than $100,000 these days.
Also new at the time, City Hall. Some employees were just moving in. With no cell phones, texting, or social media at the time, an employee newsletter spread the latest water cooler chatter.
This one says, Well, here we are, all sitting around watching the new City Hall and wishing we were going to move into the new building. You lucky dogs over at City Hall. Just for that, none of us are going to see the inside of the building until it is completed. And besides that, they won't let us in.
And that was Ted Scouten reporting. President Trump issued a 1-month exemption for tariffs impacting vehicle imports. Trump is pushing the big three automakers to shift all production to the U.S. CBS News Miami's Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
President Trump says he's agreed to a temporary pause on tariffs for many goods coming in from Mexico as part of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. He posted, Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum praised Trump for the decision and said nearly every product Mexico exports falls under the agreement.
I've yet to have a business from Kentucky come to me and say they want tariffs.
Republican Senator Rand Paul says business leaders in his state are telling him tariffs will hurt their companies and the economy.
We're talking about exemptions because even the people for them acknowledge that there are real problems with tariffs. I think they're both ways.
Trump is also pressing ahead with downsizing government. Cabinet secretaries met with Elon Musk Thursday to talk about the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to cut costs and staff. CBS News has learned the administration is working on an executive order to begin the process of dismantling the Department of Education.
We have to reduce spending to pay down debt, and we have to reduce spending to lower prices for consumers, and that's a good place to start.
Democratic lawmakers say the president doesn't have the authority to eliminate the Department of Education.
The Department of Education is created by law, and there are lots of laws that define and mandate particular programs.
Anybody that disagrees with this, let's put it in the courts and let the courts rule.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon said during her confirmation hearing that she agreed with Trump's vision to send education back to the states. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, made a rare TV appearance with Drew Barrymore on CBS Miami this afternoon. She revealed she is now going by Meghan Sussex and talked about how she creates special moments for her children, even when she can't be with them.
I always make it a point when I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it. So whoever's with them Papa can say, here's Mama reading your bedtime story. You find ways to show up for each other. And if that's the one thing that I can convey through the show or through As Ever as a brand, I want people to know you can show up for each other because you know how good it feels when someone shows up for you.
And you can catch Drew weekdays at 3 p.m. only on CBS Miami. And that's your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.